Greetings and welcome to the show floor of the Leamington Growers Expo, where Sollum Technologies has just announced their brand new fixture, SF Infinite. And to learn more about the science behind this product, I'm here with Abhay Thosar, Chief Horticulture Specialist at Sollum. How are you doing, Abhay?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Tell us about Infinite, SF Infinite. What does that mean, and what's the science behind this product?
SF Infinite it's a one fixture with infinite possibilities, if I can just say that
Yeah,
to make it easier.
Yeah, it makes sense. You as a grower, which you were a grower before, what does infinite possibilities mean to you? What could you dream of getting out of a light that now we see in reality with the SF Infinite?
Yeah, so typically as a grower, a lot of the times, depending on the crop, depending on the season, depending on the phase of the crop growth, you might want a fixed spectrum, or you might want to have just two channels, sometimes three channels, and also sometimes you need four channel in order to get the best possible results from the plant. And that's exactly what SF Infinite will deliver, depending on the requirement of the grower, the objective, as well as the crop. So if they are looking only for a fixed spectrum for a certain period of the year, they can just use a fixed spectrum. If they want to really have all the four channels, especially during the winter months, they can open up all the four channels. So that's what I meant by infinite possibilities, going from a fixed spectrum to a completely dynamic spectrum.
So, one fixture for all your needs, whether you want to have just one spectrum and you know what you want, you know what you're growing, the SF Infinite can do that. But if you're maybe not sure or your needs are evolving, it can adapt, right?
Absolutely. So it is more about future proofing the greenhouse, not just with the crop, but also with the changing geopolitical scenarios, with the changing demands from the customers. So I think it's kind of, I wouldn't say one size fits all, but it's kind of, like you have this one fixture and it takes care of endless possibilities.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good point you made about the volatility, right? Whether it's geopolitics, whether it's consumers wanting different products, or whether it's volatile energy prices. These are things I hear a lot from growers. So when a grower's considering making a big purchase like a light fixture, this should help ease some of those pains, considering that they really don't know what the future is going to hold for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the lighting is a very large capital expense for the growers, and especially with the LEDs, once you have the lights installed, they are going to sit there for next 15 years based on the longevity of the LEDs. So when that thing happens, you want to invest into something whereby you are not stuck on, just one spectrum, but it gives you the flexibility to adapt to the evolving, changes that are happening in the market.
And even if things aren't changing in the market, which obviously we talked about that as a value proposition, what about growers who have, plants at different stages of their life and they used to have different lights for each one? Does the SF Infinite mean that they can have the same lights throughout the growth cycle?
Absolutely. And that's exactly where our software, which we call, yes, the Sun as a Service software platform, comes into play. So even with the new SF Infinite fixture, the growers can actually create their own zones depending on the stage of the crop. So they don't need to worry about rewiring the fixture or changing the fixture based on the stage of the crop. If it's just with the drag of the mouse, they can create different zones, not only for different stage of the crop, but they could have multiple crops in the same greenhouse, and they can have different lighting strategies for each one of them.
I mean, that sounds really sophisticated and kind of a bit intimidating. When growers interact with Sun as a Service, how do they navigate what they should do? How do they plan out the right lights, where the right spectrum, considering it's one light? And how does the software itself sort of have a human connection? Because I could see a lot of growers being intimidated by this sort of AI enabled software controlling the lights. How does Sollum work with them beyond just the software?
Yeah, so this is exactly where, Solam has the three pillar approach. So definitely the fixture is one, the software is the second one, but the third most important pillar is the support that we provide. And when I say support, it's not just the fixture or engineering technical, but the plant technical support that we provide to the growers. And what that means is We will work very closely with the growers on how they can use those different lichen strategies, explain the science behind it. We will even share the knowledge that we have on over these last 11 years with the dynamic LED lighting. And that's exactly where Sollum differs itself. It's not just take the fixture, go figure it out yourselves, but it is more holding the hand, giving them the training, and ensuring the success of our customers.
I mean, really so excited for you and the team. I know you've been really busy, so I appreciate you coming here to talk to me. I know you've got some webinars coming up as well, so people can learn more about SF Infinite. But there you have it. We're here at the Leamington Growers Expo. It's packed. There's growers everywhere. The Sollum booth is really popular as people come to learn here about SF Infinite. One light, infinite possibilities. You heard it here. Thanks so much for following.
Thank you.